Hi, this is Max from Exotics, and I'm going to talk about OBS and how I use it, or anybody can use it to do a video explainer or a computer explainer, software explainer, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. That if there's a bunch of stuff on your screen that you want to walk through with somebody, you can use OBS to both show yourself full screen like this, but then also in a corner or whatever to illustrate something. There are many things you can do with OBS. This is just going to be like a short, like how I'm using it. And some tips and tricks. Okay, moving on. So it's picking up my voice through this microphone right now and this video camera. And you do that through a scene. In the scene, you would say, pull this camera and this microphone, or you might say this image and that audio file, or whatever you want, you can pull into any scene and arrange it in any scene in any way that you want. I can switch to my webcam. So here I'm in the webcam, and I'll pick up the webcam, and I'll show you the camera through the other scene that I have set up. This is a Sony a6300, and it goes through this HDMI to USB connector. This is a high quality camera, and this gives a very, very nice video, whereas the webcam video isn't quite as good. So I'm going to switch back to the good camera. Here are the sources in OBS that you would use, and I have for this the Samson audio driver, which again connects to this microphone, but I could have it pull from the mic on the webcam if I wanted. Here's the logo, which is right here, and here is the Magewell, which is that camera. Let me clear the screen. I could also just oops. I can also just pull an image into OBS, and this is a production studio for a TV station, and this does what the software does. There are many sources of video and audio, and they can switch to each source that they want or scene that they want and use it for their production. So here I have a full screen. Here I have a camera 1080. I'm going to go into this a little bit later, how this works. Again, this is a USB mic. Here's, again with the full screen on the Chrome. You get the idea. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of OBS. You have scenes, which are made out of sources, audio or video. You have your audio mixer. Then you have how you want to transition between your scenes. And then you have your various, whether you want to start streaming, start recording, your studio mode, if you want to see the transitions. And then here are the settings where you can set up, whether you want to stream to Twitch or YouTube, what your output codec you're going to use, whether it's going to be MP4 or MP1 or, whatever, all the technical stuff, the audio, the video, hotkeys, if you want to set each scene to have a hotkey. So you might say Control-Shift-B for break. So your stream and you want to take a break, you just do that. And the scene with a break, maybe a big title saying, I'm out for 5 minutes, would appear in your stream. You can customize OBS in any way. Again, just like a big production studio. Okay, I'm back again. And now I'm just in OBS. I'm not using Bandicam to record OBS. I have OBS shrunk into like a little window in the corner, and I have the screens that I want to show on the other part of the monitor. So when I click onto this this view that I want to see, I'm now changing where I'm now in the corner, as you can see, and now here's my browser, and I can just move around that, and I can explain and talk about it. And if I'm not going to be explaining that, but I want to talk to you directly, I can just, again, switch back to the full, onto camera screen, and then switch back and go back to the screen. There are many ways of capturing a screen or other software. This is using where I'm just taking a piece of the screen out, and I'm going to show you actually how I do that, because that was the hardest thing for OBS for me to figure out how to do. So let me just actually go straight into that. So now I'm recording the full screen, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to create a duplicate of it. So right click on it and create duplicate. And the good thing about duplicate is it'll just take all the sources with it, so you don't have to recreate them all or resize them all. Like I moved some stuff, you'll see as I go from scene to scene, the little things move around because although I had them duplicate, they're all lined up and I moved them around. Anyway, All those little things you got to figure out. But this is, to me, the hardest part. So here's our test, and I want to add now a screen. Well, first I can take myself, right? And we know that I'm going to make myself like a small in the corner. So let's just do that right now. And now I want to show you something on my screen, like let's just say a browser. So I'm going to add a source here, and many sources will come down. There are a few different ways of doing it. You can do display capture, for this type of thing. You could do a Windows capture, or you could do I think there's a browser capture. Generally, I think display capture is the safest. So I'm going to do a display capture, and I'm just called display capture test. You can get rid of it later. And there you see, like, it's going to say, okay, I'm getting the whole screen. So you just have to say, okay, just really give you any options here. So now we're getting the whole screen. And what I want to do is I want to get only this part into here, because you can see it's like duplicating everything. So what I need to do is hold down the Alt key. This is the trick. When I get on the red box here, I hold down the Alt key and I pull that box over to just the size of what I want to show. And I do the same thing here on the bottom and the right. And the top are already, well, top's already, I'll just pull it down a little bit. Let's say I pull it down below the tabs. And I'm just going to minimize Bandicam. Now, once I've said, okay, this is the part of the screen that I want to capture. Now, don't hold down the Alt key. Now I can just stretch this to fill the whole screen. And then obviously I'm going to want to move this down to appear beneath the logo and my picture. And there we are. So now I can go on and I can, talk about this stuff or whatever it is that I want to talk about on my computer. And then if I want to go back to full screen, I can just hit the full screen scene. So you hit the full screen scene and you're in the full screen, and then you want to go to another scene where maybe you're explaining something on your computer, you hit that and you're done. And it'll remember it from time to time. So as long as I have this box this size on my computer, anytime I start up OBS, I can do this. There's a second way, and that way is using, when you go in here, instead of that, you do a Windows capture. And that's basically saying, I'll go to the software, find this window and do that. That has some pluses and minuses I'll go to. Start with. Well, first of course, the minus with this thing is if I move this thing, right, it moves out. Or if something goes on top of it, then you're going to you're going to see it. So I'm going to open up FileZilla, right, and I can see that that's on top of it. So that's a pain when you do a display capture, is if it can disappear, you can put something above it or whatever. So that's a headache. There's another way of doing it, which is just doing a window of the software. And here I have it already set up. And this is doing FileZilla. And you'll see here when I close FileZilla, right, it's still on the screen. So I can just, open FileZilla, move it around, and still just move around and not worry about where it's in the screen. It's just going to capture that window. So that's a benefit of that way. However, I still feel that just taking FileZilla or whatever software you have, putting in that little box there, and now switch to this mode, doing it this way is going to be, it's a better way for me just to manage everything. I know that box is where I'm going to be talking about and keep everything in that box. Anyway, but those are the two ways that you can do it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. And if you want to do any videos where you explain something on your computer, OBS, it's free. Get it. It's amazing what you can do with it. You can stream something. You can just record it. You can stream and record. You can do explainer videos about anything that you've done through a little window or browser. It could be Excel, any kind of software, and make your own little videos. And then you can take it. What I do is I take it and put it into Premiere, and then I just clean it up and do fix the audio, whatever, and then I'm done. And you'll probably notice that many people use OBS on the internet. In fact, I don't know any serious YouTuber that doesn't use it for something or other. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, and see you later.